Hey man, what it is? This is Dame, and I am your host, and this is by any means. There go the Cash App. It worked too. Show your boys some love. You already know. There go the PayPal at Dean by any means. That super chat button is at the bottom. You can press it at any time. Say it with me, y'all. I don't care if you leave $1, $10, $1,000. It is much appreciated. They say Jaron Ennis is overrated. Every time I make a video about Boots, I got people, mostly Terence Crawford fans, I got people in my comments making all these excuses about why they don't want to see Boots fight. He overrated. He don't fight nobody. Well, my question is, if Jaron Ennis is so overrated, then why ain't nobody jumping to fight him? Why ain't none of the professional fighters calling him out saying that he's overrated? Only people I hear saying that is the fans. I haven't heard one professional fighter say it. Why ain't nobody at the 147 division jumping to fight him? Why they want all of this astronomical money just to fight him and let y'all tell it he's not even a star yet? Have you ever seen that a guy that y'all believe is so overrated, but nobody wants to fight him? Wouldn't you want to be the guy that exposes that Jaron Ennis is not who we think he is? But you ain't got nobody at the 147 division or the 154 division jumping to fight Jaron Ennis. When they get asked about Jaron Ennis, it's like I would fight. Y'all know that energy. Ain't nobody so excited to fight this man, and we all know why, because he's not overrated. Actually, Jaron Ennis is probably the most underrated fighter in boxing, period. Jaron Ennis is literally a top 5 pound-for-pound fighter, talent-wise, skill-wise, production-wise, whatever. But he's not getting a chance to show it to the world because of what I'm saying. People are literally scared of this man. Him and Gervonta are literally right now the most ducked fighters in boxing. And I'll throw Shakur Stevenson in there as well. Those are the 3 most ducked fighters in boxing right now. You got people saying Shakur Stevenson overrated. I would never co-sign that. If Shakur Stevenson was so overrated, everybody would be jumping at the opportunity to fight that man. They're not. If Gervontadavis was so overrated, why he got to fight his 4th and 5th option then? When I bring up devinhaney fighting Jaron Ennis, you know what Devin fans say because they so scared? Y'all just want to see Devin lose. That means you know Devin can't beat Jaron Ennis. Y'all think Devin could beat... I want y'all to think about this. They say Jaron Ennis is so overrated, but Jaron Ennis is the only boxer, when you mention him with devinhaney fans don't even believe he could beat Boots. They say, man, y'all just want to see Devin lose. Devin had to strip naked to make 140. Devin needs to be at the 147 division. And don't say that I'm hating, because I'm a big Abdullah Mason fan, and I tell y'all all the time that Abdullah Mason need to go fight at 140. He's 20 years old, and he's weighing in at 134.5. 0.9 or something like that. He's barely making the 135 division at 20. He needs to move up immediately, in my opinion. He should learn from devinhaney. You already fought at the 135 division, no different than Gervonta and Shakur Stevenson did at the 126 division. You make your way, you get your name up a little bit, and then you go to the other division, and then that's where you excel. Because I could definitely see Abdullah Mason, winning a lot of belts at 140, 147, 154. Later in his life, when he's in his 30s, I could see him at the 154 division as well. He's a big kid. So I keep the same energy for Devin that I got for Abdullah Mason, and I don't like Devin, but I do like Abdullah Mason. Ryan Garcia daddy was so enthused about Ryan beating everybody else. Eddie Hearn said, I got somebody for y'all to fight if y'all don't want to stay at 140. He said, Jaron, and his dad said, who? Bring him on. He said, Jaron Ennis. His dad switched up. Boy, he switched like a light switch. He got real humble when Jaron Ennis' name got brought up. Why Brian Norman Jr. would rather take 200,000 than 1.2 million to fight Boots, but he'll take 200,000 against everybody else. If that's not a duck, if that don't show you that these guys are petrified of Jaron Boots Ennis, I don't know what will show you Earthmen that. Jaron Boots Ennis literally had to go to Matchroom because he wanted to go to PBC, and Al Heyman couldn't even get his fighters to fight Jaron Ennis. That's why Bosley said it ain't no bad blood or nothing. We tried to go to the PBC first. The guys just wasn't willing to fight us. They was willing to sit out. They was willing to pull a bunch of moves that wouldn't have been beneficial for the PBC or Jaron Ennis. Absolutely. You have Vergilortiz manager come out and say that they're not looking at the Jaron Ennis fight. And then they got so much backlash from it. And then they just changed up a day or two later talking about, yeah, we'll be willing to fight Jaron Ennis. I bet you would. Who else you going to fight? Terence Crawford not fighting you? You don't want that Bowenchuck rematch because you barely got out of there with that. And if Bowenchuck ain't loses, if he ain't gas out later in that fight, listen, and I liked how Vergilortiz showed heart later in that fight and started putting the laying the wood on him and the whole nine. I respect all of that. But we all know Jaron Ennis versus Vergilortiz will be a massacre. Why? Vergilortiz's defense and his footwork is just plainly not good enough to be fighting Jaron Ennis, where he's going to be bigger, faster, stronger at the next division. I don't think they want any type smoke when it comes to that. I mean, they got to say it because they don't want to look scared. And I appreciate Vergilortiz saying that and actually being the only guy that said that a step up to the plate. But even he was reluctant to do it. So I got a question for all you Earthmen. If he's so overrated, why Terence Crawford is hell bent on not fighting him? Terence Crawford will fight everybody else, but not Jaron. Like he's hell bent on not fighting Jaron Ennis. If you watch that Madrimal fight, you know why. You got Crawford fans so scared of Jaron Ennis, they say, well, tell him to fight Madrimal. But they okay with Crawford fighting Tio. You know why? Because they know Bud will easily beat Teofimo Lopez. That's why they're okay with that fight. They don't want a real challenge. Jaron Ennis, gervontadavis, Shakur Stevenson are the most duck fighters in boxing today, period. Only thing I'm mad about Shakur Stevenson is that Shakur Stevenson got a chance to actually prove it, and he didn't. He went to Matchroom, where Matchroom don't got no 135-pounders for him. Unfortunately. But since y'all think Jaron Ennis is so overrated, then tell people to then put the pressure on all the other champions from 147 to 154 to fight him. And don't sit up there and tell me, well, Boots got to move up. Boots can move up tomorrow. Y'all acting like moving to a different division is something you can't make a decision about in 30 minutes. All Jaron Ennis got to say is, oh, yeah, I'll go up there. No different than Teofimo Lopez was trying to do at 147. Y'all act like moving to a division, you got to put in all of this paperwork and it's this long, drawn-out process. It's not. It's literally not. All the guys at 154 got to do is say, they'll fight them and that's it. Ain't nobody at 154 jumping at the chance to fight Jaron Ennis. Nobody. Not Earl Spence, not Fundora, not Murtazaliev, not Madrigal, not Terence Crawford, not none of them. And y'all all know Boots is better than all of them. Besides Terence Crawford, I will even give you Terence Crawford. Like I said, man, to all you Earthmen, like I said, if y'all think Jaron Ennis is so overrated, I've never seen a guy that people think is so overrated that gets ducked the way he gets ducked. If he was so overrated, you would think people would be jumping at the opportunity to prove that he's overrated. But nobody's jumping at that opportunity. I wonder why. I wonder why that is. Because it's easy to say anything. That's why that is. It's easy to say it until you're in the ring with him. Y'all ain't gotta go in the ring with boots. They do. So they gonna keep their mouth shut about the man because they understand what they're dealing with. Y'all fans, y'all Terence Crawford fans could think whatever you want, but understand this. The reason why Terence Crawford and Jaron Ennis ain't fighting, it ain't because of Jaron Ennis. It ain't because he ain't at 154. It ain't because of none of that. Because Terence Crawford said again, he's not fighting Jaron Ennis, whether he comes to 154 or not. So that ends your whole argument. It literally ends your whole argument. But y'all know what this is, though, right? Dame, by any means. And I holla at y'all.